Hello students, continuing Gmat series, Gmat CAT series. Today's first question is, in the figure above, point O is the center of the circle and OC is equal to AC is equal to AB. What is the value of X? So first of all, we will draw the figure. Let us suppose this is that circle. Now, O is the center of the circle and OB being radius, and there is a point C on this, A on the circumference of the circle, and then we join this and then AB, right? Now OC is equal to AC is equal to AB, right? So this has been given to us. We need to find the value of X. This is X degree. Now since is in triangle OCA, OC is equal to AC, so the angles opposite to it will be also be equal. So this opposite angle is X, so this will also be X degree, right? Now in triangle ACB, this is an isosceles triangle having AC and AB equal, right? So let us suppose the measure of this angle is Y degree, so this will also be Y degree, right? Now in triangle ACB, two angles are Y degree. So the third angle will have the measure. So Y plus this third angle CAB must be equal to 180 degree. So that means 2Y plus angle CAB should be equal to 180 degree by angle sum property of the triangle. So angle CAB will be equal to 180 degree minus 2Y, right? So that means this angle is 180 degree minus 2Y degree, right? Now if we extend it to the circumference of the circle, we get this as dB becomes the diameter of the circle. Now I will draw this triangle OAB independently. You see that OA is the radius of the circle, right? This whole is, let us suppose the radius is R, and OB is also representing the radius of the circle. This is also the radius and this is also the radius, right? Now in triangle OAB, I will draw this triangle. Now this whole angle will be X plus 180 degree minus X degree plus 180 degree minus 2Y degree, right? And this angle is Y degree. This is OAB and OA is equal to OB. So angles opposite to it will also be equal. So opposite to this is Y degree and opposite to this is this. So this implies in triangle OAB, the theorem which I am using is angles opposite to equal sides are also equal, right? You can have converse of this also, that the sides equal to sides opposite to equal angles are also equal. So this implies that X degree plus 180 degree minus 2Y degree should be equal to Y degree, right? Or I can say that X degree plus 180 degree shifting 2Y to other side, so this should be equal to 3Y, right? Now if we see closely triangle OA and C, here Y is the external angle, so external angle is always equal to the sum of opposite two angles, so Y should be equal to 2X degree, right? From here I can deduce that. Now putting Y equal to 2X degree in this, I will get 3.2X equal to X plus 180 degree. From this I can have X plus 180 degree is equal to 6X degree, or I can say shifting this to this side, so I will get 5X equal to 180 degree. From this I can get the value of X equal to 180 degree divided by 5. So this will be 5, 3, 15, 30, and that will be 30, 60. So from the options I can see the right option for this question will be option number B, is the value of X. So X is 36 degree. Option B is the right option. An airline passenger is planning a trip that involves 3 connecting flights that leave from airports A, B and C respectively. The first flight leaves airport A every hour beginning at 8 a.m. So first flight begins from airport A, right, beginning at 8 a.m. and it is regulating every hour, right, and arrives at B 2.5 hours later. The second flight leaves airport B, second flight is leaving every 20 minutes beginning at 8 a.m. So this is every 20 minutes the flight is leaving from this airport, and arrives at airport C 1/6 hours later, right? So airport C. The third flight leaves airport C every 1 hour. So every 1 hour flight is leaving and it's beginning at 8:45 a.m. right? What is the least total amount of time the passenger must spend between flights if all the flights keep to their schedule, right? So this is the question. Very interesting question, very good question. Now the passenger will board this first flight from airport A, right? Now it arrives at airport B 2.5 hours later, so it will reach this airport at 10:30 a.m. Right? If he boards the first flight from this. Right? Now we have to calculate the time between the flights if all the flights keep to their schedule. Now the passenger has arrived at the airport B at 10:30 a.m. Now we will see the next flight leaving from airport B. Every 20 minutes the flight leaves, that means next will be 8:20, next will be 8:40, and then be 9 a.m. Again the process will be 9:20, 9:20, then 9:40, because it leaves every 20 minutes. See, here it has been written that the second flight leaves airport B every 20 minutes leaving at 8 a.m. So starting from 8 and 9:40, then will be 10 a.m., then 10:20, and then 10:40. So he can board this flight of 10:40, leaving a waiting time of 10 minutes. So here I can write that 10 minutes he will wait at airport B to board this flight, and it has reached here because the flight reaches 2 or 2.5 hours later. Now moving to the airport 3. Now this flight, it has been written that it arrives at airport C 1 by 6 hours later. So 1 is 1 hour, and 1 by 6 of 60 minutes is 1 by 6 of 60 minutes is 10 minutes. So it will reach after 70 minutes. Fine. So if the passenger boards the flight at 10:40 from airport B, adding 70 minutes to it, 20 minutes will be up to 11 o'clock, and then it will reach at 11:50. Right? 11:50 he will reach at the airport C. Now flight from airport C starts at 8:45 a.m. and is scheduled every 1 hour. So next flight will be 9:45 a.m. Next will be 10:45 a.m. Now see, there is a 5 minute gap that the flight is scheduled to depart at 10:45, but the passenger reaches at 11:50. So next flight will be 11:45 a.m. So he can't board this flight, right? Because he is 5 minutes late in this. So next flight will be 12:45. So now here he has to wait for, see, 11:50 to 12:50. So 5 minutes less than 1 hour. So that will be 55 minutes will be the waiting time over here at airport C. So the total waiting time for airport B is 10 minutes, and this is 55 minutes. So total will be 10 minutes plus 55 minutes. So this is basically 50 plus 1 hour. 5 minutes is 1 hour. 1 hour and 5 minutes he has to wait. So we will look for the options now. So see, option B is over there, 1 hour 5 minutes. So right option for this will be option number B. So this is basically the application of mathematics concept related to time in real time problems. If n is a positive integer and n square is divisible by 72, then the largest possible integer that must divide n is. Now see, n is a positive integer, right? First we will write the data. Now n square is divisible by 72, right? So that means it will give us some integer, right? Likewise, if I say that let us suppose 6, because 6 is n and 6 square is 36. So it is 72 over here. So we will let some number which is divisible by 72. So in that case, let us suppose that number be 288, right? So when I divide it by 72, so this will be 4, right? So here it has to be a perfect square. Now I can write n square is equal to 72 multiplied by k equal to this. Now this is, since n square is a perfect square, 72 multiplied by k has to be a perfect square, because only then it can be equated. So if this is perfect square, this has to be perfect square. So if I break it down, so this is 8 multiplied by 9 into k. Some positive, k is some positive integer, right? Because when we divide the square of n by 72 and it is divisible, that means it would be a integer, right? 72 multiplied by something will be n square. So this is further 2 cube into 3 square into k. Now since it is a square, so then it must be in the square form. So that means k must, this is cube, so 2 cube into 3 squares multiplied by 2 into some value m, fine. So k should take the value, 2 has to be there because it should make the power even, fine. So k can take a value of 2m, right? Now 2m square, because it also has to be in the square form to be perfect square. Now n square is equal to 2 raised to power 4 3 square into m square, right? Or I can write this in the form n square is equal to 2 square into 3 into m whole square, right? Because I put square above m because m has to be, let us suppose m is 7 over here. So 7 has to be square, so that it should be equivalent to n square. Every, in a square, what we have the property of square is, let us suppose we have a square of square root of 121. So this is 11 into 11 right? So every perfect square has its factors in a paired form, right? So this is what the concept is over here. So m has to be in the square form. So from this I can deduce that n is equal to 2 square into 3 into m, some integer m, right? Now n, this is 2 square 4 into 3. So that means the factors of n must be the factors of 12. So I would write down the factors of 12, 1 comma 2 comma, so from here 1, if you are writing 1 I will write 12 also, for 2 I will write 6 also, right? For 3 I will write 4 also, right? 1 2 3 4, then 6 2, 1 2 3 4 6 and 12. Now the question is asking us then the largest positive integer that must divide is the largest is, that is 12. So the right option for this will be option number B, right? Now let us take the question analysis in some other way. Now we have been given that n square is divisible by 12, 72. So we will find some number which is greater than this and is in a square form and is divisible by 72. So in that case I can assume that number to be 144, and this is, if it is n is 12, so n square becomes 142 and it is divisible by 2, giving us the value of k to be 2, right? So since n is 12 and all the conditions get satisfied over here, so we will find the factors of 12. So this is 1 2 3 4 6 and 12, and the largest factor is that must divide n is 12. So right option will be option number B. So this is the general approach for any such type of question. You must solve it like this. First we found that n square by 72 is completely easy, so we put a positive integer k here, that the value of k becomes 2. Now if we solve this 72 into k, we get the factors, right? Now it has to be a square because n square is a square of a positive integer. So we introduced 1 2 to make 2 raised to power 3 a even power, then m square, then reducing it to n we got 2 square into 3 into m. So 2 square into 3 is 12. So the factors will be 1 2 3 4 6 12. Must divide is 12 irrespective of what is the value of m. A certain grocery produced X pounds of produce for P dollars per pound. If Y pounds of the produce had to be discarded due to spoilage and the grocery sold the rest for S dollars per pound, which of the following represents the gross profit on the sale of the produce? Now the question says that a certain grocer purchased X pounds of produce for P dollars per pound. So cost price, which we say CP, on which it purchased X pounds, will be X multiplied by P. So this is the cost price. Now when he is going to sell these, he finds that Y pounds of the produce had to be discarded due to spoilage. So total which has been disposed is Y pounds. So the grocery in pounds which is left to be sold is X minus Y. X is the total pounds he purchased and minus Y is the, now he sells this at a price S dollars per pound, so multiplied by S. Now he wants that which of the following represents the gross profit on the sales. Minus cost price will, this is what represents the profit. So X minus Y into S minus XP. So it has been given in the option number A. Option A represents a gross profit on the sale of produce, right? So the X is the X pounds of produce he purchased at P dollars per pound. So this is the cost price. Now Y pounds of produce had to be discarded. So how much amount is available to be sold is X minus Y, and he sells this amount at S dollars per pound. So S has to be different from P, or we can say S has to be greater than P, right? Only in that case he can earn a profit. So I multiplied X minus Y into S minus the cost price XP, which gives us the gross profit. If X, Y and Z are positive integers, so we have been given that there are 3 integers X, Y, Z which are positive integers, such that X is a factor of Y. So X is a factor of Y. We'll try to solve this question through 2 different approaches. Now if X is a factor of Y, then I can write, now let us suppose we try to explain you with some example. Now let us suppose there is an integer 12. Now the factors of this will be 1 2 3 4 6 and 12. Now all these are factors of this, right? Now if X is a factor of Y, if 2 is a factor of this, I can write 2 equal to 12, but here I have to put 6. So that means if Y is a factor of X is a factor of Y, I can write Y equal to K times X, right? Where K is some positive integer, isn't it? If X is a factor, then X multiplied by some positive integer should be equal to Y. Now second is X is a multiple of Z. Now X is a multiple of Z. Now what does this say? This says that X is equal to M times Z, right? If I say that 2 let us suppose 12 is a multiple of 24, right? So that basically means X is a multiple of Z. So X is 12 and z is x is 24 and z is 12. So 24 can be written as 2 times 12. Right? So this is what m represents. M is a positive integer. Now the question says, which of the following is not necessarily an integer? So from the following options we have to find which is not an integer. Now the first is x plus z divided by z. So I can write x equal to mz, so I can write mz plus z divided by z. So this is basically equal to, taking z common, m plus 1 upon z. So z and z gets cancelled, so we would be left with m plus 1 because m is an integer, so m plus 1 has to be an integer. So this will be necessarily an integer. Now second is y plus z divided by x. Now splitting the LCM, I will write y upon x plus z upon x. Right? Now y is equal to k times x upon x plus z is from here it is x by m. So I can write x upon m multiplied by x. So here x and x gets cancelled, x and x gets cancelled. So this will be k plus 1 by m. So if m is an integer, what do you think 1 by m will be? So it can be, may or must not be an integer. So it will not be an integer. Right? Why? Because let us suppose m is having value 4. So 1 by 4 will be 0.25. Right? Now option C. Option C is x plus y divided by z. Now x plus y, x is mz plus y is kx, right? K into x upon z. Now I can change x to mz also. So it becomes mz plus k times mz upon z. Right? Now I can take z common. Mz common I can take from both sides. So mz into 1 plus k divided by z. So z and z gets cancelled. So m into 1 plus k. So this will be integer also. So this is integer. Right? Now fourth is xy upon z. Xy upon z. Now x is mz. So mz y divided by z. So z cancels. So m into y will be an integer because both m and y are integers. Now last option is yz upon x. Now y is equal to kx. So this will be k into x into z by x. So x and get cancelled. We will be getting kz, which will be again integer because k and z are integers. Fine. So the right option for this, which will not be an integer, will be option number B. Now we will try to solve it by taking some values. Now we have been given that x is a factor of y. So we take y, the value of y to be 12. So 4 is a factor of 12. Now x is a multiple of z. So if I take z equal to 2, so 2 into 2 is 4. So x is a multiple of z. Now we will solve this for these values. Now first is option A is x plus z divided by z. So x plus z divided by z. So this will be 4 plus 2, 6 divided by 2. So this is 3. So which is an integer. Now second option is y plus z divided by x. So y plus z is 12 plus 2, 14. 14 divided by 4 is 7 by 2, which is 3.5. So this is not an integer. Now option C is x plus y divided by z. So x plus y is 16 divided by 2 is 8, which is an integer. Now option D is xy divided by z. So x into y is 12.4 divided by 2. So this will become 24, which is an integer. Now last option is yz divided by x. So y into z is 12 into 2 divided by 4. So this gives us 6, which is also an integer. So only option B is the option which is not giving us integer. Yesterday, Candice and Sabrina trained for a bicycle race by riding around an oval track. They both began riding at the same time from the track's starting point. So let us suppose this is an oval track, right? And they both started from this, Candice and Sabrina. However, Candice rode at a faster pace than Sabrina, completing each lap. So lap is basically completing one round. So Candice rode faster and each lap around in 42 seconds, while Sabrina completed each lap around the track in 46 seconds. So that means Candice is running faster by 4 seconds. How many laps around the track had Candice completed next time that Candice and Sabrina were together at the starting point? So this is the question, that how many laps can Candice laps completed by Candice when they together meet at the starting point. Right? Next time they meet at the starting point. The first is when they start the race. Now, so first we will 42 and 46 LCM. So that is 2, 21, and here it is 23. Again, this will be 7, 3, 23, because 23 is a prime number. So 3, 1, 23. 23, 1, 1. So this is the LCM for this. So this is basically 7, 3, 21. 21 into 2, 42 into 23. 42 into 23. So this is basically the next time when they will nap. Now we need to find the labs completed by C candies when they meet together. Now total time taken when they meet. So if I divide this by the time taken by candies to complete one lab, so 42 gets cancelled, so I will be getting 23 labs which candies will complete and they will meet together. Now if the question asks how many labs will Sabrina complete, for that I need to do 42 into 23 divided by 46. Fine. So I will write over here 21 into 2 into 23 divided by 46. So 2 into 23 is 46. So 21 labs will be completed by Sabrina. And as you can see, Sabrina takes more time, so her labs are 2 less than the labs of Candice. So Candice will take 23 labs and Sabrina will take 21 labs before they meet together again. So right option for this, since they have asked us Candice completed the next time that Candice and Sabrina were at the starting point. So how many labs it will complete? B. Option B is the right answer. But if I had the question, I'd asked you about Sabrina, how many labs Sabrina would have completed, that would be 21. A square wooden plate has a square brass inlay in the center, leaving a wooden strip of uniform width around the brass sphere. If the ratio of the brass area to the wooden area is 25 to 39, which of the following could be the width in inches of the wooden strip? So there is a square wooden plate. So let us first draw a square. So this is a wooden plate square, and we have been given that inside it lies a square brass inlay. So this is like this. Fine. Now this is, I will write brass square and this is wooden square. Now if the ratio of the brass area to the wooden area is 25 to 39. Now, let us suppose the length of this is y inches and of the wooden square plate is x. Right? Which of the following could be the width in inches of the wooden square? So width is basically this one. This is w. Let us suppose this to be the width. Now, since the ratio of area has been given to us, that the ratio of area of the brass in the wooden area is 25 is to 39. So brass is to area of wooden. So that will be 25 is to 39. Now, if I have to represent it in terms of x and y, I can write that y square upon x square. So it must be equal to, see, the area is in terms of 25 is to 39. But if I have to write the area of wooden strip, I have to add this area also. So that will be 25 divided by 25 plus 39 in terms of x. Right? Because x square has to be equal to 25, which is brass area, plus this 39 area. So this is basically equal to 25 divided by 64 equal to y by x whole square. From here I can get y by x is equal to under root of 25 by 64, which is basically equal to, both are perfect squares, so it will be 5 by 8. So this implies y is equal to 5 by 8 of x. Right? Now from here width is equal to x minus y, or I can say, see, y plus width over here is also this uniform width, over here it is also w, right? And here also it is w. So y plus 2w will be equal to x. So I can write y plus 2w equal to x, or I can write 2w is equal to x minus y, or width will be equal to x minus y divided by 2, right? Now y is equal to 5 by 8 of x, so I can write w equal to x minus 5 by 8 of x divided by 2. So taking 8 LCM in numerator, I will be getting 8x minus 5x divided by 2. So this is basically 3x by 8 divided by 2. So it will be 1 by 2. So 3 by 16 of x. So this is the width in terms of x, which is the length of the side of wooden square. Now question asks us which of the following could be the width in inches of the wooden strip, right? So it will solely depend on the value of x, right? Now the first case is 1 inch. Now since the width is equal to 3 by 16 of x, now if I suppose that x is 16 by 3 inches, right? In that case width will be equal to 1. So this width is possible because we have no constraint on the value of x. So x can take any value, right? Now second is 3. So width is again equal to 3 by 16. Now I can take x. What value should I take of x so that width becomes 3? So that is x should be equal to 16 inches. Right? If x is 16 inches, then 16 gets cancelled and I would get width as 3. So this is also possible. Now third option is 4. So for this, width is equal to 3 by 16 into x. Now what value should I take so that this becomes 4? So for that I can take x equal to 64 by 3. Now I will solve this at the side. W is equal to 3 by 16 into 64 by 3. So 3 gets cancelled, 16 into 4. So width 4 is possible. So these are the values of x at which these widths are possible, right? So all these 3 widths are possible. So the right option for this will be option number E. And if you have been asked, let us suppose if I reframe this question and there are given 3 options, 16 by 3, what would be the width? If these are the widths, what would be the length of the wooden plank? So that will be 16 by 3, 16 and 64 by 3 inches, right? If n is equal to n factorial minus 6 raised to power 4, which of the following is the greatest integer k such that 3 raised to power k is a factor of n? So we need to find the power of 3 in this expression. N is equal to n factorial minus 6 raised to power 4. So I can write n equal to n factorial is basically 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 minus 6 raised to power 4. Now since here it is 6 raised to power 4, I would try to take how many 6 are available here and then I will find how many 3's are there. Now 9 into 8 is 72, right? 7 is a prime number, it can't have any 6, so 6 again. So here 5, 4, 20, no 6. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 is 6 into 1 minus 6 raised to power 4. Now 72 is basically 36 into 2, right? So here 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 6 into 1 minus 6 raised to power 4. Now here I am having 2 6's, 6 into 6. One is over here, one is over here. So I can take 6 raised to power 4 common. So I would be left over here 2 into 7 into 5 into 4 into 1 minus 1, right? Now 6 raised to power 4. Now this is basically 7 to 14, 14 into 20. So 14 into 20 is basically 14 into 10 is 140. So 14 into 20 is 280. So 280, this is 280 minus 1 is 279, right? Now we will check if it is having any 3. So if it is a multiple of 3, the digits should add to be the multiple of 3. 9 plus 7, 16 plus 2 is 18. So yes, there is multiple of 3. So 6 raised to power 4 can be written as 3 into 2 whole raised to power 4. And inside, if I break 279, it will be, when divided by 3, it will give us 3, 9 and 93. Again, it is divisible by 3, so it will be 3, 2 and 1, right? So, sorry, this is 3, 3 is 9, 31. So 31 is a prime number, so I can write this as 3 square dot 31, right? So this is basically 3 square dot 31 is 279. Now, from here I can deduce that 3 raised to power 4 dot 2 raised to power 4 dot 3 square dot 31. So it is basically 3 raised to power 6 dot 2 raised to power 4 dot 31. Now 2 raised to power 4 into 31 cannot give us any further 3's. So the maximum power which I can have of k is so that it will be a factor of n, so that k can have a power of 6. So right option for this will be k equal to 6, so that it becomes a factor of n. So right option for this will be option number D. D is the right option. The integer 120 has many factorizations. For example, 120 is equal to 6 into 20. 120 is equal to 3 cross 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 10, and 120 is equal to minus 1 into minus 3 into 4 into 10. Now, in the third factorization, he has considered minus factors also. In how many of the factorizations of 120 are the factors consecutive integers in ascending order? Very nice question. Now, first of all, we will write down the positive factors of 120. So, positive factors of 120 is, first is 1, here I will write 120. Right? Second is 2, so here I will write 60. Next is 3, so here I will write 40. Right? Now here it is 4, and there I will write 4, then here it is will be 30. Now if I write 5 over here it will be 24. Now 6, and then over here it will be 20. Right? Now further it will be 8. So 8, here I will write 15. Right? Now next will be 10, and here I will write 12. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 24, 30, 40, 60 and 120 are the positive factors of 120. Now, there is also a method through which you can find that you have to write down all the factors. So, I will break 120 into prime factors. So, if I write 12 into 2 into 5. So, 12 is basically 2, 6, 2, 3. So, this is 2 square into 3 into 2 into 5. So, basically it is 2 cube into 3 into 5. So, 8, 540 into 3. Now, if I want to find the total number of factors, I just need to to multiply the powers and add 1 to it. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Here it is 1, here it is 1. So 4 into 2 into 2. So this is 4 into 2, 8, 8 into 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So I have written all the factors of positive factors of 120 over here. Now if I write the negative factors in ascending order, these are all in ascending order. I can represent it by this. Now in case of negative factors, the negative factors, first I have to write minus 120. So start writing from here, putting a minus sign. So next will be minus 60, minus 40, minus 30, minus 24, minus 20, minus 15, minus 12, minus 10, minus 8, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2 and minus 1. Okay. Now if I see, I have been asked to find that the factors, how many of the factorizations of 120 are the factors consecutive integers in ascending order. Fine. So first of all, I will try to find it in positive factors. So first will be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this is basically 5, 4, 20, 20 into 3, 60 into 2, 120. So this is one. Second will be 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this is again 120 because 1 doesn't matter. So we are having two factors. Now next will be 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Since we have to keep the consecutive integers, so 4 into 5 into 6. So 6, 5, 30 is also 120. Fine. Because he has given us an example also in which he has written the factors, but we have to write the factors in such a way that they must be consecutive in ascending order and they must be integers. So all these are integers, so they must be consecutive in ascending order. So all these are consecutive and in ascending order. In positive factors, we don't find another which are ascending and are consecutive. Right? So up to this only we are having consecutive integers which are factors of 120. So up to this there are only 3 possible combinations. Now taking a look at the negative factors. So in negative factors, we must need to take care that only even number of factors are possible, because if we include an odd number, so the sign would change for 120. So for this, that will be in ascending order minus 5 into minus 4 into minus 3 into minus 2. So that will be equal to 120. Right? So total, how many possible combinations are there which are having consecutive integers and in ascending order? So this is also ascending order negative. So minus 5 is smallest. So this is also ascending order. So total number of combinations are 4. And the right option will be option number C. You can ask me, there might be a question in your mind that why we taken minus 4 into minus 5 into minus 4 into minus 3 into minus 2 into minus 1. Since minus 1 into minus is plus, so this will give us plus, this will give us plus, but this will give us the minus 20. So that's why I have not considered this in the negative. Otherwise, so there are total 4 possible combinations. So right option is option number C. George's bank statement showed a balance that was $0.54 greater than what his records showed. He discovered that he had written a check for $X.YZ and had recorded it as X.ZY. So that means he has interchanged the YZ to ZY, where each of X, Y and Z represent a digit from 0 through 9. Now, which of the following could be the value of Z? Now, since he has written in records $X.YZ and he has delivered a check of X, he has recorded it as X.ZY and he has written it as X.YZ, and this difference is equal to $0.4. Right? Now I can write this as X plus Z by 10, right? Plus Y by 100 minus X plus Y by 10 plus Z by 100 equal to 54 by 100. Right? Now taking LCM, 100 will be LCM, so I would be getting here, if I open the brackets, so this will be X plus 10Z plus Y minus X minus, so here again if I take LCM, so that will be 100 10Y plus Z, right? 10y plus z, right, equal to 54 by 100. So x and x gets cancelled. Now I would be left with 100, taking 100 LCM, 10z plus y, so this is in brackets, minus 10y minus z equal to 54 by 100. So this gets cancelled. 10z minus z will be 9z and y minus 10y will be 9y. So 9z minus 9y should be equal to 54. Or I can say, taking 9 common, z minus y is equal to 54. So z minus y is equal to 6. Now the question asks us which of the following could be the value of z. Now since z minus y has to be equal to 6 and the digits allowed are from 0 to 9, so if I take the value of z to be 6, then y has to take value 0, so that will be equal to 6. Now the next value which z can take is 7 and 7, then y will take value 1, so it has to be 6. Now next value it can take z is 8, so 8 minus 2 is 6, and last value it can take 9, and the value which y can take is 3, so as to make it 6. Now we have been asked the value of z, so the value of z can be 6, 7, 8 or 9, right? So out of the options, the only option available is the option E, which is 6. There are no other options 7, 8, 9, so right option is option number E, right? So let us suppose that a question had asked us the y could be the value of x. In that case it could have been 0, 1, 2, 3, fine. So 2 and 3, you might have deleted one of these to make the question viable. So for this we have been asked the value of z, so the options are 6, 7, 8 and 9. Out of these only 6 appears in the option, so right option is option number E. Thank you for today's lecture. Bye bye, take care.